Hi everyone, welcome to Arpita Sharma classes. I am Arpita Sharma, your educator, and today we are going to start covering the topics Buddhism and Jainism. These two topics were left in art and culture, so we are going to cover these topics today. ये topics आपके art and culture में बचे थे, तो हम इन topics को cover करेंगे आज. Now, Buddhism and Jainism have been very important from the perspective of UPSC because time and again they are asking questions from Buddhism and Jainism. And since 2013, they are repeatedly asking every year 2-3 questions from Buddhism and Jainism. So that is why to prepare these two topics, it's very important, very necessary for your exam. Before we start the class, here's a small announcement for all of you. As you can see that India's very renowned lawyer, researcher, and human rights activist and women's rights activist, Vrinda Grover, and top educator on Unacademy Plus, Vamshi Krishna sir, they are coming live on Unacademy Plus in a very free special class on 5th of December, that is today at 5 p.m. And today at 5 p.m. this class will be live. They are going to discuss Indian society, which is a very crucial topic for your essay writing. आपके essay के लिए ये जो topic है बहुत important है, is the constitutional vision of rule of law or reality in India. So rule of law and rule by law, these two topics are covered in your M. Lakshmikant Indian polity. So what is rule of law? How it is important to fulfill our constitutional vision in India, that they are going to discuss in detail for the upcoming UPSC CSE mains essay exam. To unlock the plus experience for free and start learning from the best, use code ARPITA10. Download the Unacademy Learning app, register or sign in on the app, and then choose your goal as UPSC CSE, then click on the link which is given below in the description box and use this code ARPITA10 to unlock your free plan on Unacademy Plus. तो आप Unacademy Plus पे सारी classes free of cost देख सकते हो अगर आप ये code use करो ARPITA10. So this class is going to be live today at 5 p.m. Do not miss this class at any cost. Let's start with our class. Buddhism शुरू करते हैं. Now, when we talk about Buddhism, the first person that comes to our mind is Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha was not always Lord Buddha. His original name was Siddhartha Gautama. He was a prince, and Siddhartha Gautama was born in 624 BC in the Sakya clan in Lumbini in Kapilavastu. So this topic is asked again and again in prelims. Where was he born? In which clan was he born? In which place was he born? He was born to Shuddhodana and Mahamaya, and he was married to Yashodhara, and he had a son called Rahula. So when Prince Siddhartha Gautama was just 29 years of age, he decided to abandon his life. He decided to renounce his life. He decided to leave his palace at the age of 29. So he went out in search of Binish Karmana, that is the truth. So this is also important for prelims. They can ask you this in prelims. आपको prelims में ही वो ये topic पूछ सकते हैं. What is Mahabhinish Kramana? That is truth. He wandered for 6 years and starting में इन्होंने meditate करना शुरू किया था. In the starting period when he was in search of the truth, he was doing hard penance. He was doing very hard tapasya in order to understand the truth of life. But then, and that hard penance is known as Alara Kama. ठीक है, he meditated with Alara Kama. ठीक है, now Alara Kama was his initial guru. ये जो थे ये इनके इनिशियल गुरु थे, बट ही वॉज कन्विंस्ड दैट अलारा कामा कुड नॉट हेल्प हिम. इनिशियली ही वॉज कन्विंस्ड दैट ही कैन हेल्प मी अंडरस्टैंड द ट्रूथ, बट लेटर ऑन ही थॉट दैट अलारा कामा कुड नॉट हेल्प मी टू ऑब्टेन लिबरेशन फ्रॉम सॉरो एंड कुड नॉट मेंटली डिसिप्लिन हिम. सो his second teacher was Udraka Ramputra. This is again important for prelims. ये इनके second teacher थे, second guru थे. He attained nirvana or enlightenment at the age of 35 at Gaya in Magad, that is in Bihar, under a peepal tree. And he delivered his first lecture at Sarnath. इन्होंने अपना पहला sermon या पहला lecture सारनाथ में दिया था. His first sermon or first lecture is called Dharma Chakra Parvartan. Dharma Chakra Parvartan means turning of the wheel of law to understand the truth, the reality. He attained Mahaparinirvana, which is known as salvation or moksha or mukti, at Kushinagar at the age of 80 in the Malla Republic. So these pointers are very important. Repeatedly questions are coming from these points. Now in Buddhism, there is a word called Dhamma. Buddhism में एक शब्द है जिसको कहते हैं हम धम्मा. धम्मा means teachings of Buddha. So बुद्धा की जो teachings होती है उनको हम धम्मा बोलते हैं. So it's a Pali word. ठीक है, in Hindi or in Sanskrit it is known as dharma. संस्कृत में इसी को हम धर्म बोलते हैं, ठीक है, दैट इज धर्म. यू कैन राइट इट लाइक दिस ऑल्सो. इन पाली इट इज ट्रांसलेटेड एज धम्मा. नाउ बुद्धिज्म में 3 जूल्स की बात होती है. दे टॉक अबाउट 3 जूल्स और 3 रत्नास ऑफ बुद्धिज्म. फर्स्ट वन इज बुद्धा, that is the teacher or the guru. Second is Dhamma, that is the teaching of Buddha. Third is Sangha, that is the community of Buddhist monks and nuns. These are the 3 pillars on which Buddhism stands. And Buddhism talks about 4 great truth. Buddhism में 4 सच्चाइयों की बात होती है. First is the world is full of sorrow and misery. That means the first truth is that you have to accept that yes, this world is not very happy place 24/7. It is also full of sorrow and misery. And the second truth is cause of all pain and misery is desire. यानी कि आपकी जो सफरिंग की कॉज है, जो कारण है, वो क्या है? वो है डिजायर, आपकी इच्छाएं. The more you desire, the more you will suffer. But the more you work hard and let go of the result, the more satisfied and happy you will be. तो हमारी जो इच्छाएं हैं वो हमारे दुख का कारण होती हैं. Because not all desires get fulfilled. Third is pain and misery can be ended by killing or controlling the desire. So if you rub away your desire, or if you vanish away your desire, or you control your desire, only then the pain and misery can be ended in a human's life. And desire can be controlled by following the eightfold path. That is, eightfold path is, it is right livelihood, right observation, right determination, right action, right meditation, right exercise, right speech, and right memory. This is the eightfold path, which is also known as the Ashtanga Marg, and it is also mentioned in Hinduism by the name Ashtanga Yoga. हिंदुइज्म में भी अष्टांग योगा की बात की गई है. तो एट फोल्ड पाथ जो है बुद्धा का, वो ये कहता है कि अगर आप इस एट फोल्ड पाथ पे चलो तो आपके डिजायर्स को आप कंट्रोल कर सकते हो. यू कैन इजीली कंट्रोल योर डिजायर्स, इच्छा कंट्रोल कर सकते हो. व्हाट इज द एट फोल्ड पाथ? Right livelihood. That means because of your way of living, somebody else should not be hurt. Second, right observation. Whatever you understand, whatever you read, whatever you listen, you should observe it, right? Do not be blindfolded by one-sided truth. Third is right determination. Your determination, your passion and focus should be correct. Right action. आपका कर्म बिल्कुल correct होना चाहिए. Your कर्म or your action or your deed should not hurt anybody or the society. Right meditation. Right kind of concentration. Right exercise. Right speech. And right memory. So right memory means that you have to rub away all the bad or hurtful memories from your mind and heart. Only the correct type of memory, the positive memories should stay in your heart. Okay, he also believed in nirvana. Nirvana means when desire and rebirth ends, nirvana is attained. जब आपके desire खत्म हो जाते हैं, आपका बार बार पुनर्जन्म खत्म हो जाता है, उस वक्त समझ लीजिए कि आपने salvation या मुक्ति attain कर लिया. ठीक है. But Buddhism does not recognize the existence of God and soul. It says that there is one universal spirit that is flowing from all of us. एक universal spirit है जो हम सब में होकर गुजर रही है. That universal spirit is at work. There is no God, no soul, but only the universal spirit that is working through us. One single spirit. He also believed in ahimsa. He said that ahimsa means one should not cause harm to any living being, animal or man. Okay. Now let us understand some Buddhist mudras. Now the questions on Buddhist mudras, hand gestures have been asked in 2012 also. For example, in 2012 prelims examination, the Bhumi Sparsha mudra was asked. तो 2012 के prelims examination में भूमि स्पर्श मुद्रा को पूछा गया था. So this is again very important. So first is ध्यान मुद्रा that we are going to study. It is also known as समाधि और योग मुद्रा. इसको समाधि भी बोलते हैं और योग मुद्रा भी बोलते हैं. This is the image of ध्यान मुद्रा. ये 3 images हैं ध्यान मुद्रा की. It is performed with the help of 2 hands which are placed on the lap, and place the right hand on the left hand with stretched fingers. So this is the characteristic gesture of Buddha Shakyamuni, Dhyani Buddha and Medicine Buddha. So the Buddha, when he performs these mudras, he is known as Buddha Shakyamuni, Dhyani Buddha and Medicine Buddha. So again this is important for your prelims examination. ये आपके prelims examination के लिए काफी important है. Second is Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. This gesture is also known as touching the earth, which represents the moment of Buddha's awakening, as he claims the earth as the witness of his enlightenment. So it is said while Buddha he sat for final meditation for his enlightenment. What he did, he touched the surface, the land of the earth with one hand, and other was kept on his lap. Now, why did he touch the earth, Mother Earth? In order to call her out to witness how he controls his desires and how he lets go of his desires and attains salvation. तो बेसिकली कहा यह जाता है कि भूमि स्पर्श मुद्रा जो उन्होंने किया था वो मदर अर्थ को ये बताने के लिए कहा था कि आप विटनेस हो, आप देख रहे हो कि कैसे मैं अपने डिजायर्स को कंट्रोल में करके जो मेरे डिजायर्स के जो एनिमी है मेरे माइंड के अंदर उनको मैं उनके ऊपर जीत हासिल करता हूँ और एनलाइटनमेंट अटेन करता हूँ. ठीक है. Now coming on to Karan Mudra. This gesture signifies the warding of evil. This is the Karna Mudra, wherein the Buddha is, warding off the evil by raising the index and the little finger and folding the other fingers. It helps in reducing sickness or negative thoughts if you meditate using this mudra. Then comes the Anjali Mudra. It is also called the Namaskar Mudra or Hridayanjali Mudra, that represents gesture of greeting, prayer and adoration. It is performed by pressing the palms of hands together, in which the hands are held at the heart chakra. In the middle of your chest is the heart chakra, right? Now there are 5 great events which were seen in the life of Buddha. They are represented by symbols. Again this has been asked from in the prelims examination. ये भी आपके prelims examination में पूछा गया है. So first is birth by lotus and bull. Second is great renunciation by horse. Third is nirvan by bodhi tree. Fourth is first sermon by dharma chakra or wheel. Fifth is parinirvana or death, which is represented by a stupa. Okay. So these are important pointers. ये काफी important points हैं. Make sure that you are noting them down. ठीक है. तो इसको फटाफट से note कर लीजिए so that we can move forward. Now when we move forward, after Lord Buddha's enlightenment and Mahaparinirvana, there were different meets and meetings which were held by the other Buddhist monks under the patronage of different kings. So the first council, this is again important for prelims. ये prelims के लिए बहुत important है. The first council of Buddhist meeting was held in Rajgriha in 400 BC under the kingship of Ajatashatru and presidency of Mahakashyapa. So presidency means the president of this council at that time was Mahakashyapa. Then the second council was conducted under the King Kalasoka, and the president of this council was Sabakami. Third council was conducted at Patliputra under the King Ashoka, and the president was Mogaliputta Tissa. Fourth council was held in Kashmir under the presidentship of Kanishka and under the patronage of Kanishka, and the president was Vasumitra. And a question in 2017 came regarding the future Buddha. 2017 में एक question आया था future Buddha से regarding. So this question said that who amongst the following is according to the Buddhist tradition is known as the future Buddha. So it is Maitreya. So according to Buddhist tradition, Maitreya is a Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva is a person who attains enlightenment but does not merge with the universe because he wants others also to raise up to that level. So he helps other also in getting enlightened. So Maitreya is a Bodhisattva who will appear on earth in the future, achieve complete enlightenment and teach the pure dharma to the people. Okay. Coming forward, law of karma. Now coming on to the law of karma according to Buddhism. So according to law of karma in Buddhism, man reaps the fruits of his past deeds. It says कि अगर आपने जो भी कर्म किए हैं आप उसी का फल आपको मिलता है जैसे आपने कर्म किए हैं. And then it talks about Sangha also. Sangha means combination of Pali and Sanskrit languages. So Sangha is most commonly referred to the monastic community of bhikkhus, that is the monks, and bhikkhunis, that is the nuns. Sangha मतलब एक association of the monks and Buddhist nuns. Apart from Sangha, the worshippers are also called upasakas. Okay. So Pali language is the very prominent language in spreading Buddhism. Emperor Ashoka and Kanishka had a keen interest in spreading Buddhism, and Buddha also organized the Sangha as a religious order whose doors were open to everybody irrespective of caste and sex. They promoted education through residential universities like Vallabhi and Nalanda and also Bikramshila. ठीक है, ज्ञानशिला आपको देखने को मिलेगा लबासना में, राइट। तो उसी तरीके से विक्रमशिला भी था। आफ्टर द डेथ ऑफ बुद्धा द मंक्स असेंबल्ड 4 times and effect of these events had a great impact in spreading Buddhism. So the monks, they used to gather, why? In order to spread the teaching of Buddha and analyze on the teaching, reflect on the teaching of Buddha. Okay, that is how Buddhism also spread. Now there are different schools of Buddhism. Let us understand them. First is Hinayana school, that is also known as Theravada school. Hinayana means the lesser path, that means doctrines of the elders. So the Buddhist monks of the school were elders, right? Their philosophy was very old. It is also known as Orthodox school, and it is said that they are more truer and more close to Buddha's teachings. There is not much of analytical skills which are mixed in these teachings. It was the original school of Buddhist philosophy, and the scriptures which are written in this school are written in Pali language. Pali is the same language in which Buddha used to teach. Then comes the Mahayana school. Mahayana means the greater path. Now these terms Mahayana, Hinayan, they were coined by the Mahayana school only, and it is not orthodox, it is a heterodox school, that means free thinking, and scriptures were written in Sanskrit language. Now comes the Vajrayana school, which means vehicles of thunderbolt, which is also known as the diamond school or tantric or esoteric Buddhism. Now the period of Vajrayana Buddhism has been classified as the final period of Buddhism in India, and it is based on two philosophical platforms. First is conventional truth, second is ultimate truth, and the language in which the books of Vajrayana school are written is the twilight language, which is also known as Sandhya Bhasha or Bengali language. Okay? Coming on to the next set of differences, the Hinayan school, it talks about nirvana. It gives a definition to nirvana. This question came in 2004 and 16 in prelims also. Nirvana means the extinction of flame of desire. When desires are extinguished in your heart, that is the time when you attain nirvana. And this school is found and famous in Sri Lanka, in Myanmar, Thailand, etc. Then comes the Mahayana school. Now in Mahayana school, it is found in Japan, China, and it was promoted by Kanishka, who was a ruler of Kushan dynasty. So Mahayana school believes in universal liberation. Universal liberation means that if you attain enlightenment, that does not mean that you will, work on your own self only. You will help the other people also in attaining enlightenment. तो महायान स्कूल का कहना है कि अगर आपको एनलाइटनमेंट मिल जाती है तो आप दूसरों को उनके सफरिंग से ऊपर उभारने की कोशिश करेंगे, ठीक है। बट हिनायान स्कूल फोकसेस ऑन सेल्फ एनलाइटनमेंट, इंडिविजुअल सैल्वेशन ओनली, राइट। एंड द अल्टीमेट एम ऑफ हिनायान स्कूल इज अचीविंग निर्वाण, इंडिविजुअल निर्वाण. But Mahayana school says that our ultimate aim is spiritual upliftment. We have to uplift everybody spiritually. Vajrayana school, it practices the magical power, the occult, right? They are also called Vajra. ठीक है, तो ये लोग क्या करते हैं, ये माँ काली की भी पूजा करते हैं, ओकल्ट प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, एंड इट इज फेमस इन हिमालयन नेशंस ऑफ तिब्बत, नेपाल, भूटान एंड मंगोलिया. Now Buddhism talks about the eightfold path, which is also known as Dharma Chakra Parivartana Sutta. Okay, this is the theme of these eightfold path, is the theme of Dharma Chakra Parivartana Sutta. So what is eightfold path? First is right view or right understanding. That means you are not blindfolded to the reality. You see things and you see the things from 360-degree view. That means from all the angles. Then right intention or right thought, that means intention of renunciation, freedom and harmlessness. Whatever you do, you should never harm anybody. Whatever you do, your intention should always be pure. Then comes right speech, that means speaking in a truthful manner, speaking in a non-hurtful way, so that somebody else is not hurt. And even if you hurt somebody, then immediately you should, you can say apologize for it. So that is the right speech. Then right action, acting in a non-harmful way. Right livelihood, living a life which is not harmful or detrimental to the people around you. Right effort, making an effort to improve yourself every day. Right mindfulness, that means awareness to see things with pure consciousness. And right concentration means correct meditation, correct focus in life. That is the eightfold path. Now in the next class we will study about Jainism also. Okay, so on this note we are wrapping up the session. Thank you everyone for participating in the class.